Before we move off this topic, can I ask if you're currently a hologram?
This suggests at least one topic has been covered before Dr. Wong bothered to confirm whether she was talking to a human hologram or human hologram dinosaur hybrid. And have you met Rick Sanchez?
Would you let him bang your therapist?
I don't believe in therapy.
I don't believe in the Cleveland Browns, yet the statistics show them being consistently for the past 20 years.
We've got a situation in the state of Virginia.
All of the words on these screens looking handwritten instead of typed suggests an even bigger situation in this room.
Nazis.
That's everywhere.
That's an exaggeration, sir.
It is not.
You've heard the state motto, Virginia is for lovers?
That's actually more of a tourism slogan. We all know that the motto has something to do with a T-Rex that had fallen ill while putting on a stage production that was critically panned by Abraham Lincoln.
America knows and incinerates a cult when it sees one.
Swifties have entered the chat, assimilated the administrator, and have begun to use it as a hub of organizing resources and planning the takeover and conversion of the MSG Sphere into an extrasolar vehicle.
Danger!
Episode will not pay off this Yeti prophecy, but the show will expect me to be impressed when they bring it back a year from now in an episode about the abominable snowman accidentally consuming whatever the space equivalent of cocaine is.
I'm so sorry, Mr. President. Virginia is closed to visitors.
Believing that Virginia completely isolating itself is a problem that requires fixing. This parenthetical seems like a wholly inadequate way to describe the weapon of mass destruction that is Rick Sanchez. Damn it, Rick and Morty, is this going to be a vomit episode? The fact that you picked vomit as your mind control delivery method of choice instead of touch, brainwaves, or f***ing hand jobs is more about you than it does me. Why would you want to animate this instead of a hand job?
So that's it? You're all just drunk?
Realizing key elements of your fandom 7 seasons in.
Pick up your phone, asshole. When I call, it's an actual emergency.
But if it's an emergency, why did you reach for the phone instead of the portal gun? You were obviously coming here anyway, and who chooses to add a phone call to their existence if at all avoidable?
We're surrounded, and Unity knows your reload time.
Not thinking that Rick would be able to randomize his refractory period.
Calm down. We came because we're worried about you.
Vomit aside, I was actually having a great time with this episode until it revealed that Unity traveled across the galaxy, assimilated an entire state, and declared independence from America, all to get Rick's attention so she can talk about how much she still cares, which ironically means I suddenly don't.
I tried calling, but is it true you're looking for him again?
When you pronoun game this explicitly, I start to question my efficacy. And no one makes me question my own efficacy.
Sorry, that was supposed to be suppressive.
Every American conflict ever.
Cue up the dome.
Yes, sir.
Equipping your helicopter with a big-ass handle for the sole purpose of activating a dome is completely in line with what I imagine the government bean counters believe to be fiscally responsible.
Do you have a dome the size of every state?
You'll need a second date for that answer.
Trading state secrets for second dates. The Constitution clearly states it has to be at least a fourth date / second base situation to avoid an impeachment. Also, I don't know what's more objectionable, that he counts hiring her as a first date or this trip to Virginia.
A nation in turmoil tonight as the entire state of Virginia continues to be trapped inside an energy dome.
A nation in turmoil? I very much doubt anyone in Georgia, Nebraska, or Connecticut is giving any of their to Virginia being turned into a snow globe sans snow.
This president has been in office for how many alien invasions?
Listen, disastrous happens regardless of who bought their way into office. What you should criticize him for is how terribly he handled each disaster. Oh, and his dependence on an amoral, chaotic, neutral, cybernetically enhanced grandfather. And a 14-year-old.
Then he sees Virginia with its perfect economy and synchronized lawn mowing, so he shoots them and puts them in a dome?
Is she totally ignoring the zombie people in their oral evictions? Either this is what Virginia looks like on any given day, or this news channel is willfully ignorant of the truth and spreading misinformation. It's both, isn't it?
Now I get to beat you.
Bring it.
What is this, a pocket constitution? When has that ever been used to hold a president accountable?
If it connects to another mind, it could become its own colony.
Oh, wow. You made a PowerPoint?
Nice try, Rick. But one slide with a fancy graphic does not a PowerPoint presentation make. I'm going to need flashy text transitions, at least 3 different fonts per slide, and proof that you spent 3 hours looking for the perfect image from the depths of clip art. Also, how many times do I have to explain this? If adding one extra mind to a mindless collective would give it direction, social media would have solved the problem that is Ohio years ago.
I'm sorry you lost a finger, but that's the price of surprise butt play.
I mean, come on. That's hilarious and good advice.
If you invite me to the wedding, I will in the punch.
Rick's got a doo-doo in his butt. Cliche.
I need boundaries.
Oh, here's a big one, face!
Kids,
Fact is, nothing short of literally a 100% approval rating is going to save Curtis in the next election.
This Deus Ex news position inspires President Curtis to finally use Chekhov's hive mind.
Holy
But why didn't an intelligence already under the dome take control of the hive? Why not a squirrel, a pigeon, or a reasonably resourceful rat? Basically, I refuse to believe President Curtis is the smartest organism left under the dome.
Such a beautiful scene. Everyone kissing.
Kissing, intimate vomit exchange, whatever you want to call it. Why is no one taking a defensive posture or at least closing their own mouths?
Uh-oh. Did somebody close the lady tunnel?
Government officials finding a way to blame a problem on the female reproductive system.
Someone order Cranky Dick?
The slogan for my rejected wind-up sex toy somehow makes it into the script.
He's going to assimilate the Earth faster than I can fight it.
Previous seasons have made Rick so unbelievably powerful that now when Rick says he can't solve something, I don't believe that either.
I need Unity's help, so you need to convince her I'm worth it.
You aren't.
Your therapist saying this to you.
Inbound vessel detected.
Tell him to turn around.
When your crew is part of your hive mind, you generally don't have to give audible directions, right?
Tell me in person. I'm already here.
Damn it! But your ship was just...
You have your gimmicks, I have mine.
Knowing Rick, but not knowing that one of his gimmicks is portals.
You had an outer space lady who was worried for your life, and your response was hostile enough to cause a huge problem.
This feels like some utter cow turd disguised as therapy. Couldn't Unity have just left him the alone? I can count on one hand the number of times I've broken up with someone, left them a few voicemails, and then decided to force my will upon an entire state of a sovereign nation on a planet that isn't my own. It's almost never my go-to reaction.
So you're asking for an invasion?
Yes, he was, but I don't think that meant it had to be a textbook Roland Emmerich-style assault on all major cities and recognizable landmarks with wide establishing shots cliché kind of invasion. This just looks like a typical day in Las Vegas. I can smell this episode. I should not be able to smell an episode. Fire extinguishers evolving to be exactly the same for far-off alien species as they are for humans on Earth, and then hitting a technological plateau. This mini-fridge would be just as accessible with a door on the front of the cabinet as it is popping up through the counter. I've mistaken this over-engineering as actual space saving for years.
Heard you were saying some really great things about Scientology. If you ever want to meet Travolta...
And playback!
Acknowledging that South Park raised the bar so high on Scientology burns that you have no option but to settle for the low-hanging fruit.
That's it? No! Call it separated idea. Barf.
Everyone kissing. Hello, sir.
Oh, yes. I hate this. It is revolting.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Rick, meet Flea Flag. Onyx here is a weapons specialist.
My name is Cork. I'm kind of like the leader in here. Made of rocks.
And I'm using your last paycheck to cover the stapler you stole, which was my heart.
Welcome to hell, mother. Cue up the dome.
Yes, sir!
Do you have a dome the size of every state?
Rochambeau for the dome, Doc?
You ghosted me!
Which, side note, was a terrible movie.
What are you doing?
Do you know what it really reminds me of? Tasty wheat.